frequency response of our speakers versus competitors and things like that. And dude, I mean, if you listen to them side by side in a decent control room, I mean, they speak for themselves. I mean, truly, without a doubt, from what I've heard, they're the best speaker in the price point, with no question in my mind.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Mic. And on today, I have the privilege to sit down and to talk to somebody who has really been in the creative role, the creative position, the scene in the audio community for one of the biggest brands that we actually have today. And he plays a vital role in it. He's the digital director for Adam Audio. He's a music producer and he is a videographer. And I want to say photographer because his Instagram looks really dope. So I bring to the stage none other than the one and only Anders Jovaag.
Damn, dude, that's quite the introduction. I was not ready for that.
I feel like that's like one of the things that I can do right. So I try to do it right every time.
It's honestly doing the videos. That's the hardest part, is like getting into the mindset of being like, all right, I'm going to do an intro. And it's just kind of awkward every single time, no matter how many times I've done it. But
right. And you have done quite a few videos. And you travel a lot. I can see that now, all the different places that you've been. And we're actually going to get to that. So before we jump into like a whole bunch of deep questions, can you introduce yourself, tell the audience, tell the people who you are, what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Anders. I've been with Adam Audio for about going on 4 years now, give or take. Started as an intern, actually just doing some video editing for them. And then kind of just worked my way up in our US office, and just recently started really focusing on educational content and educating our audience more than anything else, which I've really been enjoying. I love creating that kind of content. And then prior to this, I went to the Blackbird Academy here in Nashville for audio engineering. And then prior to that, I went to school for video stuff. So I basically took everything and put it together. So doing video content and marketing stuff for the pro audio industry, and I really enjoy it. So
you kind of answered this a little bit, but how especially in the video age that we're on now, YouTube is probably the platform and the teacher for a lot of people. Yeah. And so, but you being a part of Adam Audio, which is a very well reputable and successful brand in the audio world, I mean, how important is your role now? Like, were they lacking, at all inside like the digital marketing space? Or did you kind of just come in and was like, I think we can take this to a different level, or, the market is going this way? Or did you was like, hey, did you walk into Adam Audio and be like, y'all need to upgrade all your cameras? You know what I mean? Like, so how important is like your role and the things that you do now to the Adam Audio brand?
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think that there was anything wrong with what we were doing. I mean, we've had a lot of success for many years, and obviously it's been an established brand for 20 years. So it's like they were doing something right. And like I said, I came in as an intern. So I started by just video editing and doing some content creation here and there. And then got into the graphic design work and stuff like that. And then eventually we had a lot of structural changes and things like that as the business went on. And I realized, like, I was watching all of these YouTube channels on the side. I don't know if you're familiar with any of these, but there's a lighting company called Aperture.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do so many tutorials all about filming, editing. It spans the whole industry. And so I was like, why don't we just start making content like this? And yeah, man. And there's a lot to it. There's only so much you can do to talk about studio speakers. So my goal was to basically work with everybody on our team to start to kind of branch out from just talking about amplifiers and things like that, start talking about acoustics and all of these things that are just as important, that I hope are bringing value to, people that may not even know our brand, or may not even want our brand, but there's still that educational piece that we're providing them, and I hope that that's sticking with them. And I'm hoping that we can just continue to do that, year over year, and get better at it. And I think we have gotten better at it already. It's been about a year of really doing it pretty hardcore, and it's definitely we're getting a lot more cohesive, and we're the Berlin team is really starting to do it on their side too. So I think it's going to be great. I hope that answered your question. But no, it was I did not come in saying we should do this and this and this. It was just very much a team effort, and I think everybody was on board and happy to be a part of it. So
well, yeah, certainly to what you said. And now that you've said that, I kind of do notice a lot of audio brands, can get super technical, and Adam Audio has actually done a job of providing other types of content that us musicians, artists, producers, engineers actually need, the other valuable stuff, as far as acoustics go, and all the other different elements that fall in line with us actually creating music. And I watch a lot of y'all videos, and the funny thing is I don't have a pair of Adam Audio speakers, and I envy everybody who does, because all my mentors are telling me to get some. They were telling me to get the A7Xs, and then as soon as I'm going to get the A7Xs, they go get the A77Xs, and I said, well, I don't know if I can kind of do that right now, but But out of all the videos I watch, I really do like your videos. I appreciate your videos. I feel like you resonate with a lot of the modern culture kind of side of the Adam Audio brand of the videos that you do. I feel like you talk to more people my age. You're not super technical and everything. You're like, hey, look, this speaker costs this much. This speaker costs this much. Here's the difference. This is what
it's that video that you're referencing was such a fine line, because I was like, obviously our T-series speakers are fantastic, and I didn't want it to sound like these are worse. So with things like that, it's just a lot of back and forth with our product manager in Berlin to make sure that the verbiage is right, because I know a lot about audio engineering, but I don't know the nitty gritty of the ribbon tweeters exactly. There's just so many small details that I always have to check and make sure that I'm not speaking out of terms on our own products. So
no, that it definitely was a really good video. So now let me ask you this. You are really big into visual, like I said it earlier at the intro, but even your Instagram, I could tell you're I could use my phone, or I could, really, really make my Instagram the best it can be. How important do you think visuals are nowadays, either it's video or photography in the audio world, especially speaking to producers and artists as well? How important do you think that plays a role now with kind of the jobs that we have?
I mean, I think it's going to become more important as time goes on, as people get more used to seeing, the 4K footage that's coming off of people's phones and stuff. It's going to be weird to not have nice looking video content. But at the same, I think from a brand perspective, it's the Adam Audio brand has been German engineered, precision engineering, these terms that, I think to correlate with that, you have to have high-end video. You have to have footage that looks the part, that looks sleek, it looks modern, it doesn't look like you don't know what you're doing with lighting and stuff like that. And so, as far as a brand perspective, to make sure that we have the brand identity of being modern and sleek and cool and all these things that we want Adam Audio to be, you have to have the equipment and the aesthetics to fit that. And from a personal perspective, I just love photography, and I obsess over lighting regularly, and you know how it goes. I mean, your setup is pretty nice. I'm sure you do the same thing.
Oh man, I doubt my setup is like yours.
Yeah.
I doubt it's like yours, but no, but the reason why I asked that question is to exactly what you said and what you alluded to is that the world is kind of going very heavy on video and photography as well. So, I work with a lot of artists on a day-to-day basis, and a lot of artists, struggle with that paradigm switch now because it's like they're trying to take the visual side of things, and marketing and everything like that, just as serious as they take their music.
Hmm.
And being in music, you kind of grow up in music when you're young. You listen to music. You just automatically adopted to the world of music before you could even say a word. You were dancing. So as you become an artist, over time, you're already engrafted in that audio world to where you understand music. This is what you want to do, but to understand the visual side of things and the fact that you have to record this. Sometimes I'll be in the studio, I'll be like, they be like, oh, that was a hot take. I'll be like, shh, man, you should have recorded that. It's getting to that point to
Yeah.
where it's that serious, for artists, producers, engineers to really take that side as serious as well. So how do you kind of see in this digital world that we're in now, and of course I think social media plays a lot of it. Like Instagram is a very good reason to why people upgraded their photography and
Mm.
videography. But what do you kind of see in the future regarding music in the audio world, with the visuals playing a part? Like, so how do you see it being taken? Like, is it going to be more important to have better looking stuff, or is the audio still going to have to be, that important? Because you know as much as we would think, yeah, of course your music has to be great.
Mm.
Sometimes I feel like a lot of musicians get to the place to where that can kind of be skimped on because we can over address it in other areas such as the video and photography.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree, man. I think that if we put out a video that looked really nice, but the audio was garbage, that would destroy all of our credibility. I think, uh, frankly, I think that when it comes to creating content, as long as it's not on TikTok or something like that, I think the audio is extremely important. And if you're creating, a video of a tutorial or something, you can put up your phone and have a meh looking video. But if your audio sounds terrible during said tutorial, nobody's going to watch it. Nobody's going to like take you seriously. Nobody's going to want to like put on headphones and really dive into whatever you're saying. But at the same time, I think that the visuals are just as important. I mean, like I said, in the world of TikTok and like every social media platform that's coming out is pretty much all visual now. It's all video content or photography and stuff like that. And there's a huge part of creating a, kind of hate this term, but making a personal brand. If you're an artist wanting to brand yourself, having some sort of aesthetic to your images, whether it is a film look, if you're like film emulation with grain and stuff like that, or if you're doing just unfiltered iPhone photos, like there's all these weird aesthetics coming out now on social media. So finding ways that you can like bring that out and find one that you like and stick with it. And I think that's important to make it recognizable when people are scrolling through their various social media apps of who you are. Um, yeah, so I think that they're both equally important. It just depends on the use case. I mean, like I said, if you're making video content tutorials, I think audio should come first, uh, and then video. But if you're doing, if you're an artist and you're obviously not doing the audio side and you're just kind of putting out your music, it is important, I think, to develop some sort of personal brand aesthetic and yeah, build that up as much as you can.
So let me ask you this, because you said recently that Adam Audio this past year really has been going super hard with the content that you all have been putting out. So before this year, Adam Audio still existed, um, in like Mount Rushmore of studio monitors for sure,
Okay.
So before this year. So what do you think makes Adam Audio who they are? What is that thing? Maybe like we know that they sound good. We know that you all take your time with quality, but from you, what do you think is the one thing that makes Adam Audio exactly who they are?
Boy, that's a big question. I think that Adam Audio as a brand has grown in some good ways and in some negative ways. I think has grown to be a brand that people associate with producing in a lot of ways. So it's like, they're because of our technology, because of the ribbon tweeters, everything sounds really, really nice. And so it's really popular with DJs, electronic musicians, and stuff like that, and really making the music. And I think that's a really cool, I guess, not niche, but like really cool kind of avenue to be in, because, we're not the extraordinarily, I mean, it is extraordinarily analytical. I mean, we have endless amounts of engineers using it too, but just the brand image, I think, as far as I've known Adam Audio, is to be the kind of creator's studio monitor. And it's kind of cool and it's kind of fun. And I think there's also the balance of, we've released the T series, which is basically a competitor to KRK and Yamaha and stuff like that. And while I think it trumps all of these other brands substantially in quality and sound reproduction, it is also at the same time difficult to maintain the extremely high-end brand image that comes along with like ATC and PMC that all make great speakers, but they don't do anything down below like $3,000. So it's like, if someone's really going into a store and they're like, I want a high-end studio speaker, they're going to see the Adam Audio T series and kind of maybe associate that in some ways with not being super high-end, even though we have the S series, which is an extraordinary studio monitor. And so I think that there's a lot of cool things that we're doing, because I mean, we're reaching a whole new market with all of these different speakers. And we always like to think that if someone starts with the T series, then the natural progression eventually would be the AX series and then the S series, and kind of have a studio speaker for everybody. So, I mean, I think that's a really cool differentiator from other brands out there. And, we try to make the content sort of emulate that, where it's relatable, and inviting and friendly, but also professional and kind of cool. And so I hope that wasn't, I hope that answered your question, but
no, you really did answer the question. And now that you mentioned like the T series, I talked to a lot of people who are asking for like their first pair of monitors, or they're asking for kind of a step up than your little, I don't want to mention any names as well, but other monitors as well.
Yeah.
So the T series, when they came out, they were really appealing, because there's a lot of similarities to to the A series even, that you all have. How good is the T series for somebody just starting out? Now we're talking to like a producer. How good is the T series to like a producer who you really don't need to pay attention to every detail and every frequency that you may or may not be missing, but it sounds great because it came from Adam Audio. So how good is the T series?
I mean, I think you will hear every detail comparatively to the other brands in that price point. And B, I mean, dude, we've done so many shootouts. Like, we'll go to Sweetwater or Guitar Center to do, pitches on our brand. So you, as a manufacturer, you go to all these dealers. The salespeople come in, you talk to them, you get to know them, and then you do some like speaker demos and monitor demos. And so we'll do these kind of elaborate shootouts where it goes between the frequency response of our speakers versus competitors and things like that. And dude, I mean, if you listen to them side by side in a decent control room, I mean, they speak for themselves. I mean, truly, without a doubt, from what I've heard, they're the best speaker in the price point, with no question in my mind. Just from the full range, I mean, you don't get any ear fatigue from it. The mid range is so much more full, and the stereo imaging is just, yeah, far beyond anything else in that price point. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like it's hard because right now with COVID, a lot of stores are closed, but the most important thing is just getting out there and listening to them side by side. And definitely encourage anybody to do that. If you can, if you have a dealer or something, or a friend that has some, and go over, bring some other speakers if you have them, and test them out, because it's an apparent difference for sure. An apparent quality difference too.
So out of all the monitors, what's your favorite? Not even from just the T series. What's your favorite monitor that you're like, okay, these are my favorite? And I'm pretty sure you had the opportunity to listen to, a slew of monitors. So what's your favorite pair of monitors, and why? I think would be more important.
Yeah, I think the S3Hs are probably my favorite. My room is obviously a bedroom turned into an office essentially. And I have a little studio desk here, but I think that if I had a larger space and I had a little bit more room, I would definitely have those up here, man. Because I think that the S3Hs, they're the horizontal form factor. They got the two woofers, the mid-range driver, and the clarity that you get from adding just like a true three-way speaker. You can hear like a vocal like nothing else. They just sound phenomenal. And in a lot of major studios, if you have a recording console or something like that, or any larger space than this, I mean, you can fit them in there, and the tweeters are always like pretty much right at your ears, and they sound great, dude. And I don't know if you know about Audio Test Kitchen, but they're a company that basically allows you to test out microphones online. Really great company.
Yeah.
And they basically shot out a ton of different studio speakers. And then they were in an anechoic chamber shooting out like all these high-end studio speakers, trying to emulate the human voice, essentially, to be able to record it and then put it on their website for testing out microphones. Complicated thing. But they ended up saying that the S3Hs were the closest emulation to the human voice when it's reproducing through a speaker than any other high-end monitor that they chose. So that was a nice little sales pitch from them. But I mean, it's the clarity and the low end you get from it, because it has the two 7-inch woofers. Spot on, man. It's great.
Oh man, so I'm definitely gonna have to check those out now that you said that. I'm glad I didn't pull the trigger on anything. So let me ask you this. So what does day-to-day look like for you? Are you the one actually, creating the ideas to these types of videos? I mean, like you said earlier, you were like, hey, let's not be so technical and stuff like that. But on day-to-day, are you planning like, hey, all right, we have to go to this studio out in, I don't know, Oklahoma, because they, bought this X amount of audio, Atom audio speakers, and or they like, so what does that process look like? Because you do a lot of videos. I've seen you talk to a lot of different people at their studios, that actually have the Atom audio monitors in there as well. So what does day-to-day look like for you? Are you creating all day? Are you planning all day? Or is it more like admin work? Like, oh, like I got to put this on the schedule.
All of the above, man. I think, on a day-to-day basis, a lot of it is ideation and coming up with content ideas. I mean, we have just I don't know if you know Monday, but it's like a organizational structure thing.
Yep.
I basically just plop tons of ideas in there as I think of them. And then, we're in Nashville, and a lot of the time, especially during the last year or so with COVID, it's been pretty much all contained here in Nashville. We haven't done a ton of traveling. We have done a trip out to LA like late last year, where we did like some high-end endorser videos. Like, I don't know if you know, we did a video with Take a Day Trip and Hudson Mohawk, and some people that were pretty high up there. And we loved going out there. We loved traveling. But I mean, the amount of knowledge and the amount of amazing studios right here in Nashville, like, we typically don't have to leave. And so like we come up with ideas of like, what can we do on, what other topic can we do on studio acoustics? Because everybody wants to know more about studio acoustics. no matter how many videos you do about studio acoustics. And so trying to find other people, and we found it, a couple people that we love to just continue to work with over and over again, like Music City Acoustics and Steve Durr, who's a studio designer, all these people that outside of just getting content, it's a really great way to just build relationships, build rapport, and like build a kind of a partnership between like this acoustics brand, Music City Acoustics, and Atom Audio. And it's been really cool. And so, yeah, on a day-to-day basis, basically coming up with ideas and then trying to find ways to schedule it. And like next week, we have a video. We're going to a mastering studio here in Nashville, and we're doing like a 3-part video all about mastering. And then, yeah, last week we did a video with our new sales guy, and it's a concept that we want to keep rolling out. It's basically engineers reacting to their early mixes and what they would do differently and stuff like that. And trying to find ideas that hopefully not a lot of people have touched on, but I mean, every topic I think has been probably had a video over it at some point. But yeah, so it's ideation, planning, coordinating, and then editing. It's myself and Lindsay is our content creation specialist and content manager here in the US, and she helps me out a lot with editing and filming and stuff like that too. So we're like a 2-person team essentially.
So you're a producer too. And so when was the last time you had the opportunity to actually make music and put it out? Or does Atom Audio just have your schedule just tied up?
It seems that way recently. Dude, I don't know. Do you make music? Do you produce music too?
I produce, I engineer. That's basically my life.
Yeah, dude. Like for some reason I get into this flow of things where it's like 1 month I'm super into like learning video stuff. I'm like all gun-ho on like figuring out lighting, watching nothing but lighting tutorials. And then the next month I'm just obsessed on producing music. And I'll like stay up until midnight just producing it. Like I'll make like 20 beats in a month, and then the next month I make none. And it's just like this constant like flow of creative things that like I get sucked into and then get pulled out of. And so I haven't made a beat or anything in quite a while. And I'm always like, man, I know that if I just opened up FL Studios as the program that I use to make beats, if I just opened it up and started, I would just get instantly sucked in. But I just haven't had the time and the opportunity to do that. But it's probably been 3 weeks or so since I've made anything. But yeah,
maybe y'all should do some what's it called, like beat battles or battles of a producer on an Atom Audio speaker, in the same studio, or something like that, so there you go. I helped you out.
Dude, I've actually had that idea, and I'd love to figure out how to do it. Like there's those like beat battles where they'd be on stage and stuff like that. And I know they're really big on YouTube. I don't know if they're still doing them.
Yeah.
Those are so fun to watch, man. I think it'd be so cool to sponsor something like that and to do it ourselves.
I'm about to say, you could do it. You know what I mean? Like starring you.
Just me.
Atom Audio doesn't know what they have on their hands. So let me ask you this. So you've been there for 4 years, I believe you said. What for 4 years ish? What things do you have up the road? What planned? Like, are you like, do you want to just like go super big Atom Audio? You know what? I'm going to Berlin, type stuff, or you like, you want to kind of do some other venturing off or some other things, or what's down the road for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, for the foreseeable future, I think I really like working with Atom Audio. I think if I could go to Berlin like on a regular basis, I've been once and it was amazing. But if it's traveling there and kind of coordinating in person with the Berlin team, that would be amazing on a more regular basis. But yeah, I think the goal right now is just to keep doing what we're doing to a certain extent. I mean, I think we're in a space right now where we're really trying to define the brand of Atom Audio, the brand image that we want to convey. And I think that's slowly starting to come together. And be really defined, because for the longest time it was very disjointed, very varied on a regular basis how we were probably perceived to the public. And so right now it's been kind of just an enjoyable experience working with the creative team here, just kind of defining it and making it cohesive globally, and yeah, man. And then eventually just hopefully get like 100,000 subscribers and be the biggest pro audio brand on YouTube eventually. But for right now, we're still just chugging away, dude. So yeah, I have no other immediate plans to leave Atom Audio or anything like that. So I'm just gonna keep doing this, and I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, it's been great.
All right, so I asked this question to everybody. You are many things, and you are a videographer, photographer, you're a producer, an engineer, a creative director. But if you wanted to be known for one thing, what would you want people to know you as?
That's a good question. I think, wow. I think a really great video producer. I think that would be the main thing I would love to be known by. I think I don't know if I'm going to speak too much into this, but the pro audio industry, like we were talking about earlier, there seems to be now a growing recognition of the value of great looking content. But at the beginning, it was kind of easy to stand out, like as far as like making good looking stuff. It's like not a lot of pro audio companies know how to do that yet. I'm sure they're learning and stuff like that. But so it's been kind of not easy, but it's been kind of an easier industry to kind of niche yourself into as far as making great looking content, as opposed to like, if we made a computer, you'd have to compete with Apple at that point or something like that, So yeah, I think just kind of growing the Atom Audio brand visually, and yeah, being known, I guess, for the kick-ass content that we put out would be the main thing.
All right, cool. Well, I want to say thanks so much for jumping on with me today, man. This was fun. And I hope that everybody had, kind of an inside view from somebody from the inside of Atom Audio to the brand and to the importance of videography for sure. I tried to make sure my camera was right for this one. Where can people find you if they ever wanted to reach out to you?
Yeah, so you can email me at anders.jovaag. I don't know if you want to if you're going to edit this, put my actual spelling.
Everything would be in the description below. Don't misspell his name.
Okay. Yeah, anders.jovaag at atom-audio.com, or you can just follow me on Instagram at andersinjovaag. Or follow my YouTube channel, which will be linked through my Instagram bio to my production YouTube channel. Check it out, I guess. Yeah.
Basically, everything he says is going to be in the description below. I'll make sure of it. And to everybody else, I thank you for joining me for another episode of On the Mic. If you would, please like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video.